Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday live Facebook. It's the 4th of June and we almost crossed the first half of the year as anticipated. I think I've said before, even early beginning just after Chinese New Year, it is expected this year to be some sort of a sideways year, not too much going down, still holding above the 1500 level. And but also just keep in mind that I do think that we are at the bottom, so I like to state it right at the beginning right now. We are looking more to the upside from now onwards. So tonight we will be talking about the US market closing higher. What does it mean for Bursa Malaysia? Now that's right, especially those of you who are Bursa Malaysia lover or hater. I suppose after Bursa have gone through this sideways market down almost 8% year to date, many of you may have just sort of left the stock market and gone and done something else. So this is the precarious state of our market, and I think many of you who have been with us since the COVID days would know, really over the last couple of years, our KLCI market really gone not that much, but I will try to explain for tonight. For going forward, at least the second half of the year, and it's always been my pleasure to explain to you and to give you some prognosis going ahead for the Bursa Malaysia using our famous Pentagon Guider, trademark and also patented, which has very good accuracy going forward. Now, I always said before, all you need to do is just wait for the green Pentagon for the Bursa KLCI to come back in, and then you expect the market to go higher from here onwards. Okay, so let's get on to tonight's topic. And of course, our company, which is also the Pentagon Guider inventor and creator using VSA, volume spread analysis, we are the first Malaysian digital investment advisor, all right, using this technology in here. So tonight's sharing, we will attempt to explain whether the US market closing will it spill over to the Bursa Malaysia. Right now you can also see that the US market, especially the Nasdaq, has turned positive for this year, which is 2025. Yet I said before, our KLCI market is still in the negative territory, negative year-to-date return. Now, for those of you who are listening, just let me know where you're listening from and pencil that in the name, and it'll be good to know that I have some company in the audience in here. All right, I will attempt to explain a bit the US market correlation to the Bursa Malaysia, and we will talk about sector outlook, some green Pentagon signal and stock trade idea, and of course many of our members and those of you who are listening are beginner, so we'll just give you also what to watch out, how to prepare and manage risks. All right, followed by a summary. Now, the news that actually generate tonight, many of you may have known, is the global stocks, which is the US, has hit first record since February. We have the big fall after the inauguration in hello Ong, thank you, from Klang. All right, great. So the market has been going up, and then January 20th, we all know, Donald Trump inaugurated, market anticipated it. As soon as he came in, market started to flatter, and we all know, those reasons, right? Which is, I think I explained also during my outlook with Phillip Capital in Malacca when I was down there. A lot of this was also due to the Trump Liberation Day. Many of you know this is the global tariff that he has inputted, and also right now the US courts has deemed that as illegal. So they cannot do that, but then they did appeal, and the court of appeal said that temporarily you can put that in. So I think the market are trying to price in this global tariff, and also this week you have seen that the US and China is starting to talk on the tariff, and of course initially there will be some blame that the Chinese is not following the rules, or the US is just too stubborn to continue to implement this. Okay, so this is where we are heading to, and but all that, pay attention when the market goes back up like this after this big fall, and this was the April 6th, the global tariff, right? And then the market reversed back. So generally, if you think of it, this is always very interesting in the world of what we call smart money. Are they accumulating or not? You can really imagine on the bad news, right? Subsequently, the market could not go lower. Instead, it actually went higher, right? So a lot of these things are really being priced in. And I want to share with the audience also tonight, going from April onwards, we would likely to see evidence has shown seasonality going forward, that the market is likely to move higher. Okay, and so this is a time where you should be putting position in here into the market. But of course, as usual, most people tend to ignore that. They couldn't keep a longer term in the market and therefore sort of stay out with it. But we're going to have this nice pickup from here onwards as the market is going to break up higher. Just bear with me. I'm going to share with you the ongoing in June and July. All right. So the US market performance as of June 3rd, the S&P is almost reaching 6,000. All right. The Nasdaq, we are at 19,400. I think within the 2 week or so, we are going to be exceeding 20,000. The Dow Jones at 42.5K. Right, and previously we even went down to almost 38,000. Now we are back, and most notable is that Nasdaq has turned positive for the first time since February 2025 in here. Now let's take a look at the first catalyst. What has happened in the US market, right? Last night the Dow Jones closed 200 points, and the Nvidia, which is the tech barometer, and they were expecting that little bit of the sales growth from Nvidia will continue. And also, Nvidia took the positive move to even start up some sort of a design center in China with the Chinese government. Of course, that thing will tend to upset Donald Trump, but what they're trying to do is to have the earlier works, okay, of Nvidia, maybe some of those low-end stuff will be made, and that would definitely increase the potential earnings in future for Nvidia. All right. So catalyst number 2 is that the ADP. Now ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing. It's a company, private company that has it's a HR company that actually reports all the payroll on each country in here. So what has happened is the ADP came out with a very weak job report. Okay, so people definitely with the tariff ongoing in there. Now remember, with the tariff ongoing, there is still a high inflation. All right, now if you know high inflation environment, Jerome Powell in the picture in here is likely not to cut interest rate. All right, of course Trump is likely to be pressuring Jerome Powell to lower the interest rate, as the weak job numbers should compensate for this market here. Of course, the market came, as you can see here, the posting from Donald Trump came after ADP reported the lowest private sector. Now remember, ADP is private sector, then you have the other one is NFP, which is the government, private and government in the whole year. So those are the figures coming in. Now would it cut? What do you think? Would Trump be successful in pressuring Jerome Powell to cut the interest rate? Now of course the market right now is anticipating this. I doubt that is likely to happen, but the downside of it is that market has already started pricing those in, like just earlier line chart that I showed you in the US market in here. Now where is the catalyst for our Bursa Malaysia? Okay, we've seen the two catalysts in here. How is this going to impact Malaysia? Now news came out for the Malaysian this is from the analysts saying that we need fresh catalysts to spur our local Bursa, and the US negotiation, and the ringgit is held strong. I'm going to share you with the ringgit in here. So of course, like it or not, the local analyst in here is trying to put in a very a strong reason that our market is still pretty good, and I have to say it's still pretty good. So you can see on top here, as I said before, all these are very seasonal, right? If you've been listening to me for the last 6 months, I've already told you, right, where likely our market's going to be. When you hit a bit higher, it's going to go through profit taking. When you hit a bit lower, it's going to be bit buying. It's really a range market in here, not so much a place where you want to buy and hold. It is a trading market. Get a little bit of profit, you want to be exceeding. So this kind of market, sideways market, will not bring in more players. All right, volume tend to be a bit taper off in here. So you can see also the CMB has reduced the earning forecast by 5.6% for 2025 and 2026 for the underperformance in the first quarterly earnings. So take note that they are also, let me just bring this here, right, the KLSE target to 1560. Now previously they were at 1565. That's a big number, isn't it? Last year, right? After we saw 2024 market went up, all the data center in here. Of course, generally a lot of analysts are over promise in here, and that's what we have seen. So its trading will be a 14.7 times, trailing on the forward time of 12.4 with a dividend yield of 4.2. Okay, so not much upside. As I said before, we do have a good avenue. Those of you who are looking for dividend, right? That's the one over there in here. So then a lot will be pending on the default 10% US tariff, okay, on July 9. And of course, we're going to have the petrol subsidy. Those things is pretty much on the talking table as we see in here. All right. So this is where we are left off in here. All right. Now, the US market, let's look at the market cycle. It's important, I've shared this before in the earlier slide. The sooner you get this in your head, the better it is, all right? The stronger months are November and December. We are right now in June, right? We can see, right, April, market bottom up somewhere March, April, right? You saw those earlier chart, right? The earlier one, which is this one here, right? April was there, March here. March bottomed up and then started to turn up. So if you go back to where we are, this is where we are, the market sell off. Then April, right, was a big, and then May, moving up. Okay, June, July, and August. We should get our market to be toppish back in August. So right now we have the July and the August rally. So which means this month of the July month here, right? This is the July month. Then we have the that's the June month, sorry. Then we have the August month. So we still have this nice 2 months of market upside. All right. So this is like you go up, then it's going to taper off. Now, why I want to do this is to share with you the expectation of the US market as it's going to level off very soon, and then we're going to go through a sell-off. That's going to happen in month of September. That's if you look back in the last 10 years seasonality. Now this is important because this will definitely paint a picture for you how you can do your market timing in here, right? So the June to August typically is seasonal. You can see here June to August, which we talk about here just now here, right? Then January to March will be a slower start. Then after that, you got the September, October. These are your not so good months, huh? This is again applied to the overall index. So with that, you keep that in mind. Okay, any question? If those of you who have, let me know in here. So the seasonality is important. Now we're also going to look at the seasonality on the year-to-year basis. All right. Now you may not be able to see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to enlarge this right here. Bring it over. Right, and you should be able to see this much better because you can't see it on the chart. Yeah. So we have this This one is the US seasonality. All right, you can see US seasonality in here. Okay, so let me just take this off. So we have the 2022. We all know year 2022 was a negative year. Okay, so basically what it does is actually showed. Let me go back to this chart. Right. So this chart is a chart of the movement of every month. Okay, we started in 2021. So 2021 here, or maybe I'll just type it out easier for you, else it's going to be very difficult to see this. So on 2021, the return was 28.8% return. Okay, so 2023, okay, it was 25.3% return. All right, that's the S&P. Okay, 2024. It's going to be a plus 24%. Now, of course, we have the 2025 is where we are. Okay, 2025 is going to be right now is only, as I said before, it turned positive finally. 1.3%. Okay, now keep in mind our KLCI is still negative. Okay. So 2022, we all know 2022 was the start of the Russian-Ukraine war, which almost have been 3 years in here. And that was a time where interest rate was raised. And remember, every time interest rate was raised, right, usually you will get market tumbling down, which we saw, right? You can see the war started somewhere in February. As the market went on, it went lower and lower, hit that low base in here. And it just sort of went a lower 19%, okay, for how many months? 9 months, all right? And as soon as we get to the year 2023, the market went back up at 25.3%. Now I'm going to ask the audience here, okay, what do you think for year 2025? Is it going to be a positive year or is it going to be a negative year? Judging from what you've seen from here. And that's why I want to show this a very important seasonality. Once you understand this, of course, I'm going to show you also the KLCI next, which you can use to paint similar picture in here. Well, what do you think? Where do you think the likelihood for the market to go up or go down? All right. Now we just crossed the 0-1. My take is that if worst case, the S&P 500 will end up with a negative 8% here. Very similar to 2018 when the tariff war. It all going to depends on the tariff. As I said before, so far the federal, I think the federal courts of US has deemed a lot of the tariff that's Donald Trump put in is illegal. But of course the court appeal is there. So that's going to be playing out in here. But market has already started pricing. So that's a very important event which I'll talk about today. Why the US market is starting to close over. So bottom line is eventually some of this is going to spill over to the KLCI. Keep in mind KLCI will still be likely, and I said before, I will quote it, close with a negative return. We are down 8%, the KLCI. It's likely to close around 6%, 5%, 3% in here. I can state as early as June right now in here, based on this study in here. So if you think that this market is going to follow the positive year, which is 2021, 28% return, 2023, 25% return, 2024 is 24% return, right? This is likely going to be followed here. So we may be somewhere around this range, minus 8%, okay, on the low side to maybe 12%. Fair enough? I think that is my guesstimate in here. It doesn't need economists to actually do this. Seasonality, how the market will fluctuate, you know, just like day and night, night and day, this is ongoing. Now take a picture of this. All right, because that is going to be very important when you consider the market seasonality. All right, now, okay, let's go on. Let me just erase all this. Now, let's go on to the next one here. Now, this is the KLCI one. So you can see KLCI is the other way around, right? Okay, we have, let's draw this again, okay? We have 2024, which is plus How many percent is this? Okay, let me just come back to you. Okay, okay, this is how many percent? 12.9%. Now this is a lot were due to the apa itu data center and all those, right? 2023 minus 1.5. Okay, and remember US market was 23%. So based on this itself, I always tell those of you who are listening in here, invest in US market. You can see how much it did. Every year our KLCR market also under the water. This is the 0%. You can see this gray color here, right? Under the water. Alright, I hope those of you who have invested like Ong here from Klang, you will agree US market is good. Make sure you invest some US market, okay? I don't want to see you year end lost money again. Okay, so 2021 minus 3.2%. Okay, and then we got maybe I put it here. 2022 is minus 3.3%, and 2025, okay, which is this year, 2025 is minus 8%. Okay, so with this in mind, our market is likely going to pull up. So we are right now here. Okay, so you can see we are right now here, which is actually at the low side of everything. We are likely to pull somewhere around here, which is a 3%, which already, that's how I derived earlier this year, the 3% for the KLCI. So if we started somewhere around here, so just another 3% tonight, okay, our market 1507 times 1.03, okay, very easy to calculate one, okay, 1507 times 1.03, so we are likely to be 1552 to 1560, right? Okay, 1560, that's how much we're going to close back. And like it or not, this is how the economists, analysts also calculate this. All right, later I'll show you. Remember earlier on just now, take a picture of this, right? I'm going to go back to what I've just said there. Okay, 1560, okay, remember that? Okay, there you go, 1560, right? KLCI target to 1560. Now you know how they write this, isn't it? So I'll teach you already. Okay, so if you like that, give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's how we want to calculate how much of the KLCI has gone up. And in TradingView, you also have this in the seasonality for all the markets in there. All right, and TradingView definitely a very powerful analytics. Okay, together with Pentagon Guider, that's where you have that special edge. Now, if you have any questions in here, I think if you think I'm doing a good job with the analysis, give me a thumbs up, all right? Although we have a small audience tonight in here, but I'm glad for those of you who are watching later, this services or this information will put you in a much better spot than anybody else. All right, the KLCI market cycle, as I said before, very similar. June, July, August, also positive. I flash this almost every week in here. Just keep in mind, if you're watching this for the first time, that is no surprises. Okay, I hope that too. Okay. Right. Now, let's look at the US ringgit in here. Okay, the US dollar, MYR. Okay, we are still holding up. Went down low of 4.2. We are back to this top range here. Should the negotiation do well between Trump and Ding here, our market likely to move back to 4.3. There is a resistance here of 4.3 right now. Okay, so it's sort of going to be stabilized in here. Now, key drive behind the US market, to recap, the tech sectors are posting very strong numbers. The US Labor Department reported stronger than job opening in a robust labor market, although the payroll is a bit soft, right? East trade concern, the investor sentiment improved the US-China talk, right, despite ongoing. And will there be an interest rate cut as demanded by Donald Trump that we saw in the news? Unlikely, okay? But maybe the market is pricing this into it, and that's why we see markets going higher in here. So what I'm trying to share with you in here is giving you all the evidence that this market is going up. Now for our Bursa KLSE outlook, I showed you, right, 3 to 4%, just another 60 points to 1560. That's how I calculate it. 3 to 4%. We have the support, we have the resistance. I'm going to look at it later on in here, right? And then the volume analysis. Are smart money accumulating? What do you think? Is smart money accumulating right now that we see in the market? Let me know. All right. So every week, a couple of weeks, I was sharing with you the market cycle, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Use that to look for market accumulation, the stock market accumulation. And of course, those of you using a SmartRobie, is there any green pentagon signal in here? All right. So let's have something short before we break off. There's a couple of stock trade ideas that I like, and also we're going to be looking at last week too. Last week we have those in here. So we're going to look at Echo West. All right. Make it a bit smaller in here. Echo West comes from a bullish breakout from the Pentagon Guider. Now remember, constructions are getting stronger. You can see here. Make sure you have the green Pentagon Guider in your SmartRobie in here. You can see market pullback, right? Pullback and ready to break higher. This is actually a pullback trade. You can see there was a red Pentagon, immediately turned back green, right? Which we did see, and the earnings was just not too much because the constructions are coming back in here. So this Echo West is so good. Next week it will come back in here. Maxine is the pullback entry zone. Okay. Any stocks that you all have in there that you want me to look at, feel free to give it to me. Now you can see the market actually sell off 11%, up 15%, sell pullback, and pull up 10%. This was a big jump here, right? But keep in mind, now we have volume coming in, right? The market may pull back a bit more. Wait for this pullback here, then only you want to go, okay? Again, Maxine is also a construction, all right? If you look at the financials here, market cap, it's a very small cap stocks, so keep in mind, very easy to manipulate. Maxine Global is also in real estate provision, but much smaller scale in here. That's the one I could find in here. Then sector rotation, I'm going to share with you next, okay? Now, when it comes to sector rotation, we found out REITs is doing pretty well, okay? So REITs doing very well. So from our screener on our VSA 360 members, you can see VSA 360 members, you would see Sun REITs, IGB REITs, all these are actually showing very good potential because we can see the construction sectors are going up, and then you can see also the REITs are doing well right now. You can see this green Pentagon just break up, pull back a bit, very nice one here, Sunway REITs. Then we have IGB REITs, okay, ready to break out from the old high here. You can see green Pentagon going forward, very nice. How about Pavilion REITs, okay, PAVRIT. Okay, Pavilion REITs, pull back, wait for the green Pentagon. Okay, so make sure you keep this list very handy to yourself, and then you have this in here. Of course, the rest, you can check it out on your lab. Now, next sector, which is the construction. Okay, so construction, we have a couple of hit lists here. Okay, Gamunda. Now take note, some of these stocks I've been talking for some time already. Going back to, I think, when it first turned green Pentagon in 25th of April. See how much that this has run up. So you can see from here, right? Our buying point is entering at the green Pentagon. If you look at this, right now it is up 16.5% return. 16.5% return. Very good, okay? And look at Suncon. Now, of course, again, I'm going to ask the audience if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, feel free. But of course, usually, many of you are very shy. You usually don't ask questions. So it makes my life so much easier. Okay, you can see from here, Sunway Con, break up, it pulls sideways, waiting for another mark to go up. So the same thing, 3, 4, 5. Just watch out for this one. There might be another breakout from here to the upside here. So it's a pullback. I think if it's happening, it's going to be happening this week too. All right, Sunway Con, IJM, some of the big ones here done very, very well. And remember, these are the stocks I was also talking about in the market outlook last week in Malacca. So since then, this market has gone up 23%, right, from the green pentagon in here, right? The green pentagon is your entry point. Kajaya, NM Holdings, Echo West, that's the one I share with, WCT, Sendai. Check this all out, members, and also you will benefit. Now let's take a look at the Bursa KLCI right now. Now it's important because we are already saying the Bursa KLCI will turn green pentagon very soon. Right now he hasn't turned yet. As I said before, last week started turn red. It's very accurate, the green pentagon. Just wait for it in here. Hasn't turned yet. I think it will turn. It's going to come back. But keep in mind, 1560 is the old high. So it's going to range bound this year. So by the time, if you see green pentagon around 1540, maybe that's not what you want to be doing in here. But keep in mind, 1560 for year end, it can go to 1620 and then come back down again. Because why? June, July to end of August, we have positive, right? Remember that? So that's why I want to set you guys up to the coming scenario. How much is market's going to move up? July and August is going to go higher, right? And then come August, market's going to rotate back and go back downwards in here. Okay, and also important, foreign funds, keep an eye on that. I cannot stress more about it. So they are leaving now, but watch out for the flow in. If the flow in comes back in, they're going to be picking up. But usually foreign funds have to pick first. Once they pick here like this, right, market will turn back up, just like here. It pick here, it will turn. It pick here, then it will turn. So we are looking at maybe 300 million. We haven't got that yet, no sell-off yet. So if that sell-off, it's going to come back up in here, okay? Some of the sectors, we found out REITs and construction. And that's why we share you REITs and construction. Now this is a VSA 360 in here. For those who are members in here, I think you'll find it very, very useful. And of course, I cannot emphasize again about the 4 market stages, which I did cover, I think, last week on the market cycle. So check out the market cycle video tutorial that I done 2 weeks ago on our YouTube, which will build the base that you need for understanding the smart money movement in here. Okay, so the KLCI, where is it right now? You can see here, all right, it is still on a down bar, downtrend in here. It will stabilize soon. All right, right now at 1500 is stabilizing in here. Let's see how will it go in here. So which around stage 1 going to stage 2. We are still in stage 4, all right, not confirmed yet, even this stage 1. Okay, so see what I mean here? Okay, you can see market down somewhere around here. You can see this was down, then here, somewhere around here. Okay, so that's why I always want to explain this using the market stages, all right? And of course, Pentagon Guider is the visual that tell all user to make the right movement. This is a patent product, green to buy, red to sell. And of course, we always want to choose the entry closest to the green pentagon because your reward to risk is so much better. Our unique proposition, put it into the watch list, so when you ever get a green pentagon, that's where you want to be. And of course, this was I talked about last week, right? In here, we talked about construction in here. So metrics turn red pentagon, usually you will go lower. Okay, IJM continue to go higher. Right, Crescendo also gone higher already. Check that one out. TMNet went lower. YTL Power, red pentagon, it gone lower some more. So don't ignore the red pentagon. I think Samaden also turned red pentagon. Alright, Pekat also red pentagon. Sunview turned green pentagon. There was a lot of support around the 35 cents in here. Frontcan turning green pentagon because the US market is turning green pentagon in here. So check that one out. Some of these stocks will be interesting. Vitrox turn green pentagon also too. Alright, so all this, the stocks that I've talked about, put it into your watch list on the green pentagon. So whenever it turns green pentagon, you'll be first to notify it in here. A very, very powerful feature of our SmartRobie apps in here. Okay, so year of snake, nothing much to look forward. Markets likely to range bound more than anything else in here. And of course, for our audience, any stocks that you want me to review, usually you guys are very, very shy and no stocks. Okay, I'm fine. So we will probably end this talk for this evening in here. Alright, of course, if you do ask me, follow the green pentagon to buy, red pentagon to sell. So that's all we have for this evening. Thank you for coming, and I will hope to see you guys on the Invest Fair. We will be in the Mid Valley on the 22nd of June in Mid Valley. Yeah. So Invest Fair, I hope to see you guys. And check out our Trade VSA bots. They are doing pretty well here. Okay, our trading bots are doing much better in here with the P75 Sharia and also the Momentum Sharia course. And of course, those of you who want to take it to the next level and need 10 points, we are doing SIDC CPE approved points, implementing AI tools and insights, which means you'll combine about the stock market using very popular LLM model AI in here for investment of 168 ringgit. You can attend the one-day online course and how to combine AI. Basically, a very, very smart analyst. Use the power of your ChatGPT, Grok, or DeepSeek to make good trading decision. I think that this 168 ringgit is a small amount to the amount of information and knowledge that you will get. Alright, so this is a CPE, right? It's licensed by, our company is licensed by the Securities Commission, so check it out. And for those of you who want to take to the next step, can also join our VSA 360 Premium membership. Alright, so CV5 is starting. We already started our group here. Alright, and without much ado, don't forget to join our free Telegram chat room. So that's all we have for tonight. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next week on our SmartRobie Breakfast Show at 10:15 Monday. Bye-bye.